You ever come out to a range like this with all of this steel, or maybe you run a PRS match, or maybe you go out in the desert and you want to know if you're actually hitting these things? I'm going to show you a great new product that's inexpensive and does the job. And here we have it. This is the Caldwell Flash Bang. Now, these are a flasher, and you've probably seen other flashers on the market. In fact, I've seen some really fancy ones that run well over $100. I want to say 125, 150 bucks. And, you know, that's a lot of money to spend for a flasher, especially because I don't know anybody who shoots steel who only wants one flasher. So the real question is, can these perform, and do they do the job that that you're going to need for the price point? And you're probably wondering, well, what's the price point? How about 30 bucks a piece? So you can pick up, you know, 5 of these for the price of some other well-known brands. Here's what's different about them, and I'll just kind of point it out. These do utilize a physical light strip that is going to extend out past the steel. And if, you know, if that is of critical importance to you, if you think that you are likely to strike that, then, you know, I mean, I guess that's a concern, but they're also 30 bucks. It's not like you're spending 150 bucks for something. And yes, I know some of the more expensive ones have a little like reflector so that you're not actually hitting the light strip. But look, let's face it, for 30 bucks, you can probably afford, you know, to shoot it a bunch of times and you might accidentally hit it. But I don't think that's a very high likelihood. So in any event, what do these do? Well, we can turn it on. You'll see here that there's a flash. And then that's going to dim down. And then if we have an impact, there we go. Now these go thousands and thousands of hits. In fact, you're looking at 30,000 impacts for a single set of AA batteries, which, by the way, it comes with. So let me show you here. You've got, oh, I'm sorry, three AA's. And then you've got the unit. It comes with a couple pieces of Velcro and an Allen wrench. Now, the inclination on this might be, well, let's put some magnets on it. Let's do something like that. And I will tell you, I've tried putting some magnets. Now, you could probably go to like rare earth magnets and make it work. But the reality is the hook and latch system that comes with it is very functional. And this is what we used out at the Rock Chuck Olympics. In fact, this target itself, well, these flashers on the target, we had them all the way out past 1,200 yards. And man, I'll tell you, as soon as we hit this thing, I think Eric Cortina was the first one to hit that 1,200 something target. And man, this thing lit up, and the crowd, like there was probably 20, 30 of us in the backfield, and we just went crazy because it was such an instant, you know, visibility, and the green shows up phenomenal during the day. They are also water resistant, or I don't want to say waterproof because I hate using that term, but I know that Gavin has left his out on that 1,200 yard target for quite a while, rain, you know, all kinds of stuff, fog and whatnot. And I know that they do say that those are, you know, as close to being water impervious as they can make them. You can see visibility up to over a mile. Obviously, that's going to depend on, you know, a couple factors, but realistically at a little over a mile, you should still easily be able to see them. And one of the best things is that these do not require a heavy impact to detonate the light strip here. In fact, they are made all the way down to rimfire, which is what I'm going to use them for. So I am going to go set them out on my range. I'll take you out there with me while I set them up. And we're just going to use the standard hook and latch on it. I'll set up a couple of them today. We'll put something out at, I think, 215 yards and maybe something at 100 something yards. And then I'll throw the camera on the scope and we'll have some fun. You get to see how these things work. But I'm telling you, like, they are so much fun. And for 30 bucks, like, maybe you have a little air rifle target at home. Maybe, you know, you just go out to the desert, whatever it is. It's such a unique price point for something that works this well that they just can't keep them on the shelf. I know a lot of places have been sold out. I know at the time we did the Rock Chuck Olympics, these weren't available at any of the vendors because we were all looking. So anyway, let me get these set up. I'll show you, and we'll have some fun with them. All right, here we go. Let me put out my safety flag, and we're gonna head out here. So, you know what? Let's do the pig. At least I know the pig's always going to be sitting in the same place. It's a little bigger than I'd like, but this is sitting about 110. So here we go. Now this is going to be a little trickier one-handed. And ideally, they tell you that you want to clean the target on the back. I don't really have that luxury today, so we're just going to wing it here. And let me tell you how fun, let me tell you how fun this is, peeling stickum while trying to hold a camera. That's why they invented teeth. All right, so we need to make sure that the flasher part is going to be above the metal here. And I think I want to put it right over here on this snout because people are a little less likely, or at least I'm less likely, to shoot the snout. So there we go. Let's turn that on. All right. So there's one. Let me get my trash. All right. So let's head out to 200 yards. All right, what do we got here? Well, boy, that's going to be a tricky one. Let's see, is that something I can reach? I don't think so. All right, I think we're just going to end up going on this thing here. So I'm just going to stick it, well, easier to see from the front. So let's just, there we go. Okay, so now it's just right down there on his leg. So, you know, I can always come back with Velcro and a step ladder later, but let's head on back to the line and give this thing a whirl. Okay, well, the beauty of today is I've got this whole place to myself, at least for now. So let me throw away my scraps from hanging up those targets, and then we're gonna go get set up. And here we go. This is my Rim-X action with a proof barrel on it. I have the Cortina tuner. I have a Leupold Mark V HD 5-25, and I do use the second focal plane just because I do bench rest with this also. And then I've got it in an MDT Oryx chassis right now. Let's see, I'm using a Warren Skyline bipod, which I've used a ton of bipods. I bought this thing maybe 5-6 months ago, and I love it. So, and then some Armageddon gear bag, of course. So, what are we looking at? Well, we've got that ram out there. Let's see, I've got, this is a SIG. I don't remember what number this is, but it's a SIG rangefinder that has, you actually can plug in all your ballistics to it. So I don't need to have a Kestrel out here separately. So 214 yards, 24 3/4. I'm just gonna call it 25 for good measure. Let's see, I don't know where I was at. Let's just zero it. So 25 is one full revolution. All right, so there's that. Okay. Let's see here. A little high. It's so weird because the green light goes off before you hear the impact. That's actually pretty satisfying. Let's see if I can hit the head up here. Oh, a little high. Let's come down a couple clicks. There we go. Still just a little high. You can see it's right there. I'm making a nice little print right there. So this should go, let's see, we were there. I'm gonna come down 3/4 of a minute. Let's see if I can put it right in the middle of that. Boom, right there. You see that impact show up? I have to say that that green is pretty satisfying. 10 rounds already, jeez. Okay. This is nice though, because there's times I like to kind of, I don't know, screw around and shoot the edges and, you know, challenge myself, and it's nice to be able to see the impacts. Now I might have to move over. Oh, God, I put it in the worst place for that other target, but I think at this point we know it's going to work. So let's see. This is just like 6 rounds. Premature. All right. So let's hit him in the back here. And let's see if we can hit the leg. Nice. And we'll try to hit the mouth. Okay. All right, I don't know if I'm going to get through, but you know what the hell, we're going to try shooting the leg here. A little to the right. Yeah, thread the needle, why not? Oh, I got, is that it? No, I got one more left. Right. Let's try the top here again. Okay, I gotta admit, that's super satisfying. I don't know why, but like having the feedback, I really like that. I really like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to get set up so that I can shoot that other one. But to give you an idea, that's 214 yards out there, 0 issues. And it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It is, the sun's dead on it. You can see where the shadows are coming from. So I mean, it's directly in the sun view, and there's no issue seeing that thing. It's tough because I'm alone. I'm gonna try moving the camera real quick, and I'll show you from like if you were sitting here view, so that if you weren't using a scope, what it would look like. So let's take a look at that in a second here. Well, it was a lot easier just to move the target than to try to move all my gear. I just couldn't get a clear picture on that ram from where I was. So right about here is a hanging target, and I went ahead and moved the flasher to that same distance, 113 yards, just easier to get to from where I am. All right, so here go 10 rounds. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, there we go, impact. 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 I have no idea how this is showing up over on the other camera. And if you continuously hit it, it'll just keep flashing. So if you want to make sure you have individual strikes, you want to make sure you wait for the flashing to stop. Let's go up on the head again here. Getting a little breezy. All right, well, that was an easy 10. So anyway, hopefully that showed up on the other camera. All right, let's get some final thoughts on this here. Well, before we wrap this up, I had the idea that I wanted to shoot the actual unit and see if it still works. So first, let me show you. Let me show you that it's functioning. All right. Now let's take out some of those lights. Ooh, close. Let's come a little bit over. Oh, I think that hit it. Oh yeah, that hit it. All right, now let's hit the steel and see if it still works. Nope. Well, before I go any further, I am not advocating that you try to shoot these things. However, if you look, this battery, I thought it was busted, but I had apparently knocked the battery out, and I thought, well, there's no way this thing's going to work. Well, sure enough, if you look, I put the battery back in, and that light goes off, and we still have impacts being recorded. So I'm not advocating that you shoot this, but I hit this thing a solid 3 times by the number of holes I'm seeing, blew out the back and popped the battery. And by simply putting the battery back in, I still have one visible LED on here. And that's pretty cool. So, you know, there's a little bonus for you. Well, there you go. That is, at least in my mind, a fun little test for these things. We really gave it the name Flash Bang at the end here. But still, the fact that this thing kept on ticking, even after getting hit 3 times, I'm pretty impressed. And again, for 30 bucks. So, you know, here's what they look like. You can find them. I'll put a description, or I'll put a link in the description below. Simple, effective, comes with extra pieces of Velcro. You know, I mean, this instantly just made my day more fun. So if you're looking for something either at the range, out in the desert, PRS matches, NRL 22, whatever it is, definitely pick up a bunch of these things, make the matches more fun, and, you know, go from there. But hey, everybody, you guys have a good one. We'll talk later.